Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Getting Down to Business. And yes, this is episode 5. Oh, man, I'm feeling real good today. This is Rio De Niro, and I have with me.
Hey, it's your girl, Kiosha. Episode 5. Super excited to be here today. Yay.
Yes, and you know what? One thing we don't say often is that if this is your first time watching, or if you came back for another episode, please smash that like button
Do it,
and
do
hit
it.
the subscribe. You got to subscribe. And if you hit the like button right now, you get the notifications when you hit subscribe. And hitting the like button really helps us in the YouTube algorithm so that more people get this great information that they need to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be all strange.
You all know what to do at this point. If you haven't done so, just make sure that you subscribe, like, and share.
Oh, man, you know what? You got to share. You got to share.
Share.
Get the whole thing.
Share the wealth.
Yeah. Dude, you're not even going to talk about this?
Hopefully people just pick up on it.
Just pick up this notice?
They'll just notice.
Or we just want to talk about it? Let me see. Look, I got a Ballers Club shirt, y'all. Look at this. How about you?
I got a Ballers Club shirt. Yay.
Yes. Yeah.
Ballers Club. Are you in? Are you in the Ballers Club?
You know what? They don't even see the back of the shirt. I mean, the back of the shirt got some info too. I'll see if I could throw it up there somehow.
Yeah, make sure that you do that.
Somehow I got to show the back of the shirt too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, I'm super excited, man. We're back, getting down to business, and man, we got to get into some topics, some real business topics. But before we get real deep into anything about the business stuff, we got like home business. We got to talk about that Bank of America loan situation that is still going on. We told you we'll keep you guys updated. And when I say we would keep you updated, Kiosha.
He means I will keep you updated.
Yes. Come on, talk to me.
No worries. So as you all know, there's someone that's close to the Ballers Club that is actually going through the program, and we're so excited for this person's journey. And so they're just kind of keeping us in the loop so that we can inform you so you know what to expect next. So let's get into this. As you all know, just kind of recapping, Bank of America is doing this program that allows individuals who are living in certain communities to be able to purchase, right? So we talked to you all about that. I'm not going to rehash all of that. So now the next steps is once you have said, yes, I want to be a part of this program, they are then going to send you on kind of this journey. There's a pathway, right? So you will need to go to the first-time homebuyers class. And in that class, they're going to be discussing some items with you. They're going to talk to you about the traditional mortgage process. And Rio, I want people to really just kind of pause in this moment, because when they walk into that class, I think they're thinking that this organization or whatever organization that they end up partnering with is going to be talking to them solely and specifically about the Bank of America program.
Okay.
And they're not.
Okay, so what are they talking about then?
So what they're talking about, they are specifically teaching you some of the things that you need to be prepared for as a homeowner. So they're going to talk to you about just the traditional things, how your credit should be, how much money you should have saved up, all of these different things, how insurances work, closing costs, appraisals, and all of that. They're going to be talking to you about that so that you have a really strong educational foundation as to what you're about to get yourself into.
Okay.
However, that is not the B of A program. The B of A program is allowing you to circumvent or overcome some of those hurdles and some of those obstacles. So when you walk out of that particular class, don't be discouraged because there is still room and opportunity for you. All you simply need to do is one, understand the regular normal process and what the B of A process is. And honestly, quite honestly, just be amazed and blown away at how this program is allowing you the opportunity not to have to meet certain income requirements, not
Okay.
to have to have a particular credit score. So this particular program is different than the traditional loan progress or
So,
journey.
so are people getting intimidated?
I think so. And that's something that I don't honestly want people to get intimidated by. And I'm so grateful to be really honestly going through this journey with this particular individual, because those are some of the things that I'm trying to instill into them, is that don't be discouraged by this process. Whatever they're asking you for, whatever documentation is needed, whatever they're asking for, just simply do follow the process. And I also was telling this individual, like, hey, get on this right away, because once everyone knows about it, the process is going to kind of get like clogged up. And so they were telling me, I'm so glad that I followed your instruction, because after this class comes an appointment with a credit like counselor.
Okay.
And so they were able to get a counseling session literally within a couple weeks of their education class. Now, in that education class, they said the meeting calendar for the counselor is pushed way into like the end of December, early January, before
Wow.
you can even get in.
So you have to actually go through that process with the credit counselor
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff before you could even get to the point where you're buying.
Before you're buying. So now within this process, this person already knows approximately how much money they could possibly be approved for.
Okay.
But that is just kind of like a pre-qualification,
Okay.
not necessarily like a hard stamp. I got the money and I'm ready to go.
But still, they can't move forward
Can't move forward.
until they get through those classes.
Yeah, and that's the really honestly the traditional kind of method for first-time home buyers anyway. You have to go through that education course, and you need to speak to individuals that can tell you like, "Hey, you need to fix this on your credit before you can move forward with the process." That's
Gotcha.
different because like I said, B of A, they're circumventing some of these hindrances that has been, in the minority community a problem, right? Their credit score hindering them, right?
So I guess what B of A is doing is that they're still teaching them the traditional way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, they're gonna go around that, but they still want you to know
Still want you to
if
understand
everything was completely normal, then you would be going through
this
these
process.
this process.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people are misunderstanding and wondering, wait a minute, do I qualify?
Do I qualify? Right.
Okay.
And so that's the purpose of you speaking with that credit counselor, because that individual is going to help you understand Bank of America's the special product or project that they're doing. Now, keep in mind, there might be other banks that might be doing something similar. I think just because we're on the same kind of vein, and B of A is such a large organization that we keep saying B of A, but there may be other special projects out there, like we mentioned, Legacy Home Loans. They're doing a special project as well. So there could be different qualifications for different special projects. So just make sure that you understand what project you're under and understand what their requirements are. But don't be discouraged by going through the first time home buyer class. Everybody has to do it, so don't be discouraged by that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. Also, sometimes I'm eavesdropping on conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you mention to that person they were talking about types of homes you could
Mm-hmm.
purchase and things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
Could you give us more information about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you were eavesdropping. um, so when I was going through the program, I was just simply amazed at all the types of homes that you could potentially have. I mean, honestly, you can do new builds, which is amazing because that's what I would go for.
That
Because
wait. When you say new build,
it's a new
like
build,
I could just go ahead and get my own custom house
not
and
like a
just.
custom house.
Oh, okay. Break it
But
down.
a new build, like there's a new community or a new project, not, I don't want to say projects, but just like a new
Yeah,
development
new
that
housing
is
development. Yeah.
housing development that's happening in those particular counties. And yeah, brand new home, like that is amazing. And in this particular county, which I might as well tell y'all, I was looking at the Dallas County, and in Dallas County, there was a new development starting at $88,000. The homes, the starting price, 88,000.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
That's
Because
amazing.
we live here in Vegas,
Yeah,
and
there ain't none of that going on. Yeah.
like 3, 4 in the high, they just say like high
Yeah,
300,000,
exactly.
something like that.
Yeah, like around my house, they got a whole new thing that they're building, and they're like 350 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, so I was just amazed. I was like, wait, this qualifies, and it does. And so you can do an apartment, or not an apartment, they call them condos. You want to do in a condo, or if you wanted to do a townhome, you can do that. And what's really great, and we're going to make sure that we drop this link in the description, so make sure that you check it out, because if you're, and I can't even remember all of the cities now, Dallas, Miami, do you remember? Dallas, Miami. We'll
Not
get it.
not Chicago,
It wasn't Chicago
because
for this
Chicago's
program.
another one.
We'll get you
Uh,
the cities.
Los Angeles, I think,
Los Angeles.
was
There
one.
you go.
Yeah,
Yep, Los Angeles was one. But we'll drop the link to Bank of America's real estate site. And so what I did is I went to that particular site, and there's a way that you can filter. And let me get it specifically for you because I want to read it. Because I was like, oh, this is great. Because so now you just can know exactly which program it is. So when you go to that site, filter, drop in your zip code that you're interested in, and then filter it. There's a setting that says search properties eligible for our community affordable loan solution, mortgage, or home buyer grants. So you click on that, and then all you're going to see is the properties that are available. So I was just like, why waste my time, kind of like scrolling through
yeah.
there when I can just filter it, and then everything is just going to populate. So it'll have like a little icon that's there, and then you'll know that that particular property is one that you could potentially qualify for. Simple, easy peasy.
Hey man, I like it. I like easy peasy.
Yeah.
That makes things easy peasy.
Yes. So I think what also just kind of opened up conversation when I was talking to this individual was really, talking to them about budgeting, talking to them about, credit card utilizations and different things of that nature. Because even though this program is going to allow you the opportunity to kind of negate some of the things that is traditional in those loans, we still want to be in a position where we're winning, right? So when you get that particular home, you don't want to have certain debt that's following you,
Right.
right? Because you have a new expense, you have other expenses that are going to come along with owning your own home. So I was talking to them about just like their credit card. So I'm like, let's just see, let's talk, let's do your budget,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Do that budget for real.
Because, and then too, I don't want people to shy away from like really getting granular with their budget, because sometimes I feel like people, we don't notice how much money we're spending on like subscriptions.
Oh yeah. We just let me tell you guys something real quick. I just went through that a couple days ago. So I switched over some of my I basically got a new not cable service, but a new programming service. You know what I mean? And so I literally cut the cable, but I cut the cable before. So this is my second time cutting the cable because I went ahead and got like YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got HBO Max. Then I got Showtime. Then I got Stars. And then I got Apple, Apple Plus and all this craziness. And it just, I'm like, wait a
It
minute.
adds up.
I'm like, I'm just going back to cable again. I'm like, I'm
Exactly.
paying all this. So I just went through and cut all the subscriptions that
Mm-hmm.
I had and I consolidated to one service that takes care of everything and the price is much lower. That's something we'll talk about at another time, probably on our other channel. But I just said, we had to cut some stuff.
Yeah. And then you think about it because you think about how much money that, and that's kind of like, it's just coming out because you're not really feeling it. It's like
Yeah.
$15, $10, whatever, $7, and you're not feeling it right away. But then you multiply that times 10, and then you're like, oh, wait, this is a bill.
Yeah, it's a bill.
This is a real bill, right? So really taking a look at where your money is going and really understanding that, I think is super important. So what my suggestion was for this individual is really sit down and do everything.
Yep.
Do your food cost,
Ooh,
because how many of us are we like eating out on a regular
it's
basis?
not even the eating out. It's the DoorDash.
Door
It's the
dashing.
Uber Eats.
Hmm.
Dude, you could
Our
order
regular,
something that'll cost $10. You order through DoorDash, that's ended up costing $20, $25
exactly.
because of convenience.
Yeah. And
And you wonder where all your money going because you don't want to leave the house.
yep,
And the place is around the corner
around the corner.
because you don't want to wait long, so you ordering from places that are close by.
Yep.
Come on. What are
Yeah.
we doing?
And I'm notorious for I need to have my Starbucks. I gotta have my cup of Joe, and that's like $5. If I just get just a tall, that's like $5.46.
Mm.
And you multiply that times 5 days a week. How much money are we actually spending? Gas prices are going up. That's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
I just got my a notice from my electric company. They're going up. So you really, really have to take inventory and know exactly where your money is going. In the description, we're going to link just a template, just a base template. I want everybody to have an opportunity to honestly, really, truly, truly sit down and go through, itemize every single thing. And then let's take it a step further for individuals who have credit cards, because you really need to understand everything that's associated with that credit card. So you need to know what is the total revolving line of credit. How
Yes.
much is that? Let's say that's $1,000. Okay. So you have $1,000. What is your current balance? Put that on there. Then you want to know what is your due date? What is your statement date? What is your interest rate? You want to know all of those things. Put all of those things down, and then one by one, one by one, you're going to analyze this information. Now, when you're analyzing this information, take note of any interest rate on your credit card, especially if your revolving balances, like, so you know what it means to revolve a balance. That is, you're carrying a balance over from one month into the next. And so every single time you do that, you are charged interest, which is now taken away from your total credit line. And I'm sorry if I'm getting like elementary here, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same
Hey,
page.
some people don't understand. So I don't
Hmm.
consider it elementary. I think it's great information.
Yeah, so and just let's go back. So I used to work for a very large credit card company many moons ago, but I was there with them for maybe about 5 years. And so I was able to deal with credit very, very intimately. Like, it's ingrained in my brain. how to calculate APRs, how you should use your credit card, what's the utilization points, what are the names they call individuals. It's just like little terms, individuals who carry balances over from one month to the next, a revolver, those individuals who pay their balances off in full every single month, those people are called transactors. Like, so they make transactions and then immediately they're paying them off. And normally, most times, those types of individuals, they're getting the better interest rates, they're getting promo rates, they're
Oh, the
getting
transactors.
transactors.
And
Yeah.
and the reason why is because they're trying to find ways to turn you into a revolver.
So that they can charge you interest.
Yeah. The
Right.
whole game is to turn you to a revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you got to play the credit game with them.
Mm-hmm.
Stay as a transactor
Mm-hmm.
so that you can get the attractive rates and the
Mm-hmm.
offers, and they're going to keep increasing your credit,
Mm-hmm.
but don't fall for the bait
Right.
where you end up becoming a revolver.
Right. And I think it's really, really important to know what your statement date is, because those individuals, they're paying off their balances in full. And they're really paying attention to what was my statement date and what was that statement balance, and making sure that they're paying that off. And so, why is that important? Right?
Yes.
Because now you're going to do your entire budget. You're going to find out where your interest rates are, your statement dates are, and all of those things. So I play the balance transfer game. I can play that game all day long. Are there fees associated with that? Yes. However, there's normally a promotional rate of 0% for a year or 15 months or something. Or and even sometimes I had one where they're giving you cash back at the end of a certain period if you spend so much. And I'm like, oh, great. So I'm just going to take that. The fee that they charge me covers the balance transfer. So it's
Right.
like I really didn't pay anything, right, to play this game, and I got no interest for an entire year. Now, if you're in the balance transfer game, then you can revolve a balance over from month to month to month, because why? You're not paying any
Yeah,
interest.
no interest.
So I say you're going to get your budget. You're going to write every single thing down. You're going to get super duper granular. All your subscriptions, all your credit cards, understand when those things are due. And your strategy, or this is just suggested, there's a couple different ways that you can go about making sure that you're paying that balance off, or trying to attack all of your balances if you have more than one or two or three credit cards, right? So a couple things that you can do once you see and you've written all this out, you can say, what is my lowest balance, right? And you can start attacking. I say attack, like
Yeah.
go to war.
Go to war with that.
You can just balance them all out. So you can say, hey, this is a balance of 1,000. This one is 2,000. This one's 3,000. This is 4,000. This is 5,000, right? And so you're going to attack the smallest balance, and you're going to just pay the minimum on all the rest of them. And then you're going to put as much money as you can on that smaller balance until that balance is gone. And then you're going to take the money that you were putting on that balance, and now you're going to apply it to your second largest balance, and so on and so forth. And you continue to do that. And that's called the snowball method, right? Or you can do the avalanche approach, where you can look at your interest rates. And to be quite honest, I think that's the one that's the most important, to be quite honest, is because look at your interest rate, see which one is charging you the most, because the longer that one sits there and is accumulating interest, the longer it takes for you to pay it off, the more money that they've charged you in the end, right? So you kind of want to take a look at that and really see, kind of honestly, like what motivates you,
Right.
what motivates you seeing those balances disappear, or is it, the satisfaction of knowing that somebody is not robbing you? that's
Yeah.
that was my motivation when I was in that situation. I was like, why? Because they're eating away at your credit line,
Yeah.
right?
Or it's just, or you're feel like you're not paying
And
anything. So
you're getting anywhere.
anytime that you make a payment, it's getting taken away by the interest.
Mm-hmm.
So you really go nowhere. And that's what they really love. That's their
Yeah.
ultimate goal.
Ultimate,
So that's why they tell you never pay
the
just the
minimum.
minimum balance
Yeah,
or
it'll be
minimum payment.
forever. Hmm.
Yeah.
My mom said, she said, they just eating away at my credit limit. I'm like, yep, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing. And then with that particular company, they were then increasing her credit limit to continue to do that.
Oh,
So it was like she was just like digging herself deeper into a
oh, they're
hole.
smart.
And I'm like, ugh, yikes, we got to get rid of this one.
Yeah.
So let me just really quickly, and then I'm going to let you, because I want to make sure that I get this calculation right for you all. So what's the ideal credit utilization? And I want to get you how you can calculate where you currently are, right? So I hope everyone knows credit card utilization. You want to explain that? You
I
know,
mean,
credit card.
credit card utilization, basically the amount of credit that you're actually using, not your credit limit. So if you have $1,000 credit limit and you're using $100, you're using 10%. You're at a
Mm-hmm.
10% credit card utilization. 10% of 1,000 is 100. So there are certain percentages that the credit reporting agencies like to see.
Right.
And when you exceed those limits or those suggested utilization amounts, that's when your credit score goes down.
Mm-hmm. And so just real quickly, and you kind of did some quick math in your explanation. Mine is a bit longer,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
basically, you've already done your budget, right? And just take just your credit card portions. You're gonna add up all of your revolving credit balances, whatever that is, whatever that amount is. You're also going to add up all of your credit limits. So, what's on the card? How far can you go? What's your limit? And then what's the balances all totaled together? You're going to divide that total revolving credit balance from your credit limit. So, divide those. And then you are going to multiply that number by 100 to see what your credit card utilization is as a percentage. Now, your percentage, the ideal percentage is 30%. So you want to be lower than 30% on all of your cards. So that can be like a measure to see if you're trending in the right direction. Now, you might ask me, well, Kiosha, what if I have to use my card?
Then use your card.
Then use your card. And then you need to do what?
You need to pay it off before the statement date.
That's what you need to do.
That's it. That's the magic about the state.
Magic.
The statement date is one of the greatest things I learned about when I started getting deep into credit years ago, because I didn't understand it before. I would make payments, and I'm making payments, but then, so for example, you make a payment to your credit card, then you immediately use it afterwards, and then the statement date comes, and then that's what gets reported.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden you see your credit go down, and you're like, why did my credit go down?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way you have to do it is that if you make a payment and you make a big payment, or say you cleared your credit card off, cleared the balance, you want to wait until after the statement date, because usually the statement date is like 5 days after the the payment date. So after you pay that and you wait after after the statement date, that's what's going to get reported. So the day after the statement date, you could start using your credit card. You could fill it up as
Mm-hmm.
long as you pay it off before the next statement date.
Right.
That's it. That's the trick. It's all about what's reported.
Mm-hmm.
And then the utilization is just something that's telling the credit card company, dang, how can we get them to be trapped as a revolver? Because they keep paying off their card. So what we're going to do is increase their limit.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because increasing the limit, yes, it could be a temptation of sorts, unless you know what the ultimate goal is. The goal should be that you're trying to understand this credit game system. You're trying to understand the system and you're using the system to your advantage. You're leveraging it so that it works for you.
Yes.
And as I'm learning, you can actually use this credit game or this credit system to make money for you.
Big
That's
money.
a whole other
Oh, nada, naba,
episode.
leba. Yep.
So, whole other episode that we'll talk about that. But for you, as you're trying to like eliminate some debt and you're going through things, you're trying to improve your credit score, a higher credit card, a higher credit limit, then what how does that just help you? We just did the calculation, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
had a larger credit line, then that means it would help improve your credit card utilization,
All
right?
day long.
All day long. And that's what you do. Um, and then also, just really quickly, as I talked a little bit about the balance transfer game. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention to your balance transfers. If you have a current purchase balance, this catches so many people. I personally, and this is not advice to anyone, I'm just talking about my experience. And remember, I told you that I worked for a major credit card company before. How they get you, you really honestly do not want to perform a balance transfer if you currently have a purchase balance. Why? If you do, your purchase balance is accumulating or accruing interest at a particular rate. Let's say that's 15, 20%, whatever that is. And then you say, hey, I see I got a balance transfer offer. Kiosha said, do the balance transfer game. No, I didn't. Okay. Not when you have a purchase balance. Why? Because you take advantage of that 0% offer for, let's say, 12 months. And you're like, ooh, I'm gonna transfer a balance over here. So now you have two different transaction lines on your statement. You have the 0% for a year and you have your purchase balance underneath there. Every time you make a payment, they are going to apply your payment to the lowest interest rate first.
Oh,
So that means all you're doing is making payments on your 0% and it's never even touching your purchase interest rate. Therefore, they got you trapped and they're going to continue to accrue interest on that purchase balance until you pay off that 0%. So why even do that?
so they they don't want you to pay down the balance from the one that has the high interest.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to pay off the balance off the low interest.
Mm-hmm. And they tell you it's in the fine
Mm,
print. You
mm,
just got
mm.
to simply read it. And I would get calls after calls, and people want to speak to the supervisor because I made a payment. No, I wanted the payment not to be applied to my 0% interest. I wanted it to be applied to your purchase balance. Well, that's not how it works.
Wow.
They apply it to the lowest interest rate first. So if you want to take advantage of the balance transfer, it really is advantageous to start with a zero balance on that particular card, transfer a balance over, take advantage of the 0%. Now, let me tell you this as well. Some people think that you can only take advantage of a balance transfer if it's a promo offer. Well, that's not exactly true. There are some banks that will allow you to do a balance transfer at your purchase rate. So, if it's at your purchase rate, you've already done like your budget, right? And let's say you're accumulating interest at 26% on one of your credit cards and you have one that's at 15, you might want to do the math and see if if the one at 15, if you have room to do a transfer, balance transfer, and let's say that card at 15 is saying, hey, I'll only allow you to transfer a balance, but at your purchase rate, it might be advantageous if you're going to go from 26% to 15%, right? That would make sense. But then you also have to find out what their fees are associated with it. So you really need to do the math, is basically all I'm saying. Really do the math to understand, because normally transaction fees for a balance transfer can be anywhere from 3 to 5%. But see if it makes sense. How much are you paying on that balance in interest every single month? And then does it make sense for you to move it from 26 to 15, plus, knowing that you have to pay that transaction fee? So you just need to do the math.
You gotta do the math. Woo!
It's a lot.
We got deep into the credit thing today. I mean, that is amazing. And I feel like today's credit day. So we went through credit, so this is gonna be the credit episode. And I'm happy to make it that. In the next episode, I'm gonna get into some stuff about business, and that I really want to talk about, because we got some stuff to talk about. But I'm happy about this week. Usually I'm the one that talks about credit, and you just jumped in.
Jumped in.
Good
And
job. Good job. Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, good job.
Remember that you want to make sure that you're checking your credit often. Make sure that there aren't any at all inaccuracies. We're going to actually allow people to take a peek into our very first book, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you forget?
I
I feel like
forgot.
that look on your face was like you forgot.
I totally forgot. I thought you was going to talk about the fact that they could go down in the description and sign up for the credit, monitoring and all that stuff. No. What you want to talk about is this book right here that you see on the screen.
Yay.
Yes. The No Bullshit Guide to Simple Credit Repair. Yes. And guess what? It only costs free 99. Yes. It is free. Yes. So if you want that book, you could just click on the link in the description. Yeah.
Yep.
In the description, we'll have a link to where you can download your free credit repair guide. Yes, the Simple Credit Repair Guide. Yeah.
Super duper exciting.
Yeah. We just keep building. We got new shirts. We got new guides coming out. We still got that no bullshit guide to starting your business LLC. So that's coming out. But
what's taking so long,
it's
sir?
just it's deeper than deep. It's not going to be just a regular, and then the price is going to blow you guys away.
I know, right?
It's going to be even better than free 99. No,
what could be better than free 99?
It's going to be great though.
Yes. So super excited for everyone to be able to enjoy that book. Make sure that you download it. There are some great tips in there.
Yeah.
Things that we talked about and discussed as well. Make sure that you get your budget template as well.
Budget template. Oh, that's another thing to put in the description?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Budget template.
Budget template.
Note to self. Put a budget template in the description.
Yes, just so that they can make sure that they can see it. I personally do mine on like a spreadsheet or like a Google Doc, Google Sheets or something, so that that calculation automatically happens in my monthly budget. So then I can actually just kind of see and monitor it. So there's a way that you can just have it automatically. So when I make payments, I just change it. Then of course that's changing what the utilization is, changing what the balances is, and all that good stuff. So that's how I do it. But that's kind of now, because this is so ingrained in my brain.
It's just automatic.
Is automatic. But the basics is starting. I started out on paper too, and then I just transferred it. So
hey,
if that works, do it that way.
Look, I am excited that we're getting more and more and more information out to you guys, and I know it's just going to make it better for you guys to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you guys were able to join us today. Please, please make sure you like this episode. It really helps us a lot. It helps us move up there with the other big YouTubers. You know what I mean? We're trying to get up there. You know,
Yeah.
it's Ballers Club. We got the shirts and
Are
stuff.
you
You know
in?
what I mean? Are you in? No, make sure you like and subscribe so you get the notifications and all that good stuff. This was episode 5. You know, I'm Rio De Niro.
And I'm your girl, Kiosha. Until next time, guys, keep balling.